පළාත් සභා පළාත් පාලන මැතිතුමාගෙන් ටේබල් කරන්න.
Honorable Speaker, I asked 3 weeks to ask that.
3 weeks, 3 weeks to reply. පස්වෙනි ප්‍රශ්නේ හේෂා විතානගේ මැතිතුමා කඳුරාට නාගම්මානි අටුතල පහසුකම්.
කරු කතානායකතුමනි, එතුමා වෙනුවෙන් ප්‍රශ්න අසා සිටිනවා.
සභාගත කරන්න.
ටිකක් කල් ඉල්ලනවා.
අන්සජි කල් දෙන්න. අමාත්‍යංශ නිවේදන ගරු විදේශ කටයුතු අමාත්‍ය මංගල සමරීර මැතිතුමා.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I rise to respond to the question raised by Honorable Douglas Devananda yesterday here on the floor of this House. The questions the Honorable Member raised relate mainly to issues of land release, detainees under the Prevention of Terrorism Act, alleged secret detention centers, the tragic suicide of a student from Kopai last week, and implications of these issues to achieving reconciliation. While the Honourable Speaker not in any way attempt to provide excuses for any delays, I think one must acknowledge that we, the new government, have achieved much, perhaps not enough, since the 8th of January, when President Sirisena was elected to power. With parliamentary elections held in August and the National Unity Government formed thereafter, our journey has only begun. Nevertheless, for the people who have suffered the agony, I agree, of conflict and waited for a long, long time for justice, or for those who await information regarding the fate of their loved ones, and for those who have been languishing in detention, every day, every hour, every minute matters. We are conscious and seized of this fact. The government, under the leadership of President Sirisena and Prime Minister Wickremesinghe, is determined to surmount all challenges and obstacles to ensure that justice is done and to ensure reconciliation, non-recurrence, and a durable peace. The government is also committed to finding a solution to the issue of those detained under the Prevention of Terrorism Act. In fact, subsequent to discussions the Honourable Prime Minister had with the Honourable Leader of the Opposition and others, 39 detainees out of 48 have already been released on bail. And according to the information that I have, 48 detainees have been convicted and they are serving their sentences. 118 persons are in remand custody with their cases proceeding in court, and cases are being filed against 3 persons and 1 is to be rehabilitated. In fact, the Honourable Member of Parliament has pointed out quite correctly that in 1971 and in 1989, following the insurrections in the south, and in 1987, following the India-Sri Lanka agreement, prisoners held under the PTA and other emergency laws, and combatants and those persons accused, charged and or convicted, you are one of them, yes, you are one of them, under these laws were granted the general amnesty. In fact, I also believe this is something which we have to seriously consider, and I believe the President and the Prime Minister are looking into ways and means of granting an amnesty to the others as well. The loss of yet another young life in connection with the issue of detainees is very tragic. I agree with the Honourable Member of Parliament that this is the time that all political parties and all citizens, irrespective of race, religion, and language, should unite to find solutions to problems, no matter how frustrating such processes might be. There is a well-known saying that more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. It is time that we all unite, despite our ideological differences, to act with responsibility towards our citizens and work together to find solutions to the problems that have kept this nation divided for far too long since independence. The Honourable Member of Parliament has also inquired about secret detention centres. As we have mentioned before, there are no secret detention centers in operation in this country under this government. In fact, the Prime Minister has already told the world several times categorically that there are no such centers. But if anyone has any information of such centers, please give it to us. We will ensure that there is an independent investigation into those. Because if we have the information, the government will take upon itself the task of ensuring that such facilities are examined and action is taken under the due processes of the law. The government will not tolerate anyone holding another in detention under any circumstances outside the purview of the law of this land. As you are aware, this government carried out a decision taken by the former government in January 2013 to invite the United Nations Working Group on enforced and involuntary disappearances to visit Sri Lanka earlier last month. In a letter dated 21st January 2013, the former Secretary of Defence, Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, has conveyed to the Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, External Affairs at the time, that the Ministry of Defence has no objection to an invitation being extended to the working group to visit Sri Lanka, and that the timing of the extension of the invitation should be decided by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The working group visited Sri Lanka, in fact, after 16 years, from the 9th to the 18th of November this year. They also met with parliamentarians in this very house, and they were allowed to visit the Navy base in Trincomalee. And this House is aware of the allegations against the armed forces personnel. This House is aware of the allegations about secret detention camps being maintained, which was made against our country during the previous regime. Even if we scream at the top of our voices saying there are no secret detention centers in existence, such allegations will not go away until we prove that there are no such places in existence. And that is why when I met the working group as they arrived in Sri Lanka, I told them openly our government and our country has nothing to hide anymore. You are most welcome to go to any part of the country and look for yourself and see for yourself the changes we have made. In fact, we all know the sacrifices made by our security forces personnel throughout the long years of conflict. In fact, do they deserve to be hounded by allegations of this nature for the rest of their days? Is that what they deserve as a reward for the many sacrifices they have made to enable us today to build a future of our nation on the foundation of the very peace they have created for us? That is why we believe that it is the duty of our government to take steps to ensure that the cloud that hangs over their head is lifted once and for all. We owe it to them to clear their name. The way this can be done is not by standing in a street corner and shouting defensive slogans as some of the honourable members of parliament claim. It is not by sitting in protest in front of the office of the UN or embassies of foreign countries and antagonizing our partners, but by adopting sensible, meaningful, constructive approaches to these problems so that we lay these allegations to rest. It is by investigating into allegations through the due process of the law that we can do so. This is what legal systems and investigative and judicial processes exist for, so that they may be used for the innocent to be proven innocent and anyone guilty of any excesses to be brought to justice. This is the way responsible democratic nations that abide by the rule of law deal with such issues. Despite the misinformation that some of the members of this House may try to propagate, the visit to the Navy base by the members of the working group proved to those both within the country and outside the country who allege that there are still secret detention centers in operation in this site, that there are no such detention centers in existence anymore in the Navy base in Trincomalee. The working group actually expressed gratitude to the commander of the Navy and the director of the CID for providing access to the Navy base and the cells. This kind of cooperation is what will recreate trust in the eyes of the public and in the eyes of the families of victims, as well as the international community, that the Sri Lanka security forces are responsible and professional. The government takes the preliminary observations of the working group very seriously. The site referred to by the working group members who were accompanied on their visit to the site by CID officers was in fact sealed by the CID in April this year on the basis of a court order on an ongoing inquiry. These investigations by the CID will proceed. The government upholds that all official places of detention must be only those that are gazetted, and the official procedures for detention must be followed at all times. If there had been deviations from what is authorized and approved, such incidents will be investigated, and unlike before, there will not be a culture of impunity in this country. The working group has also brought to our attention instances of alleged harassment, perceived as carried out by police officers, including some instances of sexual harassment and violence against mothers or wives of disappeared persons. At times, this is alleged to have been in exchange of promised information on their relatives' cases. I take this opportunity to emphasize that the government does not condone such harassment and will not tolerate any form of harassment against anyone, including the families of missing persons, and under any circumstances. We are determined to take action against anyone who is found to have engaged in such harassment. In fact, I personally asked the working committee members to let us know of the details of these errant police officers who seems to have harassed some people who had the courage to speak to these people. The government is in the process of formulating guidelines to be observed by the police and security forces personnel in their interactions with the families of missing persons. As this House is aware, since 2009, Mr. Speaker, 47,300 acres of land have been released in the northern and eastern provinces. This includes 19,143 acres in Jaffna, 9,704 acres in Kilinochchi, 2,888 acres in Mullaitivu, 2,804 acres in Ampare, and 1,649 acres in Mannar. In March this year, 1,000 acres were released in Walikam North. In Sampur, 818 acres have been released, and 237 acres in Trincomalee. A cabinet paper is also being currently prepared by the Ministry of Resettlement for the release of 6,000 acres of land in the northern and eastern provinces. I know that a lot of people, even the release of land is not happening fast enough. This is not due to a lack of intent or a lack of will. The government is determined to hand over land back to the people and to resettle the internally displaced. We are determined to ensure that only the land that is absolutely essential for clear and specific military requirements and for national installation remain under the charge of the security forces, and the large swaths of land are not required for such forces are released. As I said earlier, Mr. Speaker, there are many challenges that the government has to overcome in bringing about the changes that is envisaged. I explained the causes for such delays, which include having to deal with bureaucratic bottlenecks, attitudes, and perceptions. In fact, the other week, I must confess, a respected Tamil activist and poet, Mr. Jayapalan, was refused a visa to travel to Sri Lanka to participate in a literary event to be held in Jaffna with other Sinhalese academics like Gamini Viyangoda and Sannaskala. On the basis, he was refused on the basis that he was deported in 2013 when he came to Sri Lanka to visit his mother's grave. In fact, it was done by one of our officials in the Chennai mission. And that shows that even in our missions, Mr. Speaker, there are still some officials with the old mindset who seems to have forgotten there is now a new government with a new vision and a new direction. We acknowledge the suffering of the people, we recognize the mistakes of the past, and we realize the need for this nation to introspect. We are aware of the weaknesses of our institutions. We will face these challenges. We will not seek to take cover by distorting concepts and principles such as sovereignty for narrow political gain. Instead, we will always strive to work towards the welfare of all our citizens. We remain open to honest and frank exchange of views and to dialogue with all concerned, both within and outside the country. We have the confidence to face challenges and also seek help where we require assistance from the international community for the benefit of our people. Those who are skeptical about Sri Lanka's ability to transform as a nation and address problems are many. They claim that there can never be justice in Sri Lanka, that there can never be recognition of all communities as equals. I say to such skeptics, don't judge us by the broken promises, experiences, and the U-turns of the past. Let us design, define, and create our future by our hopes and aspirations, and not be held back by the fears and prejudices of the past. Let us not be afraid to dream. Let us not be afraid to engage in meaningful dialogue aimed at finding solutions to problems as opposed to pointing fingers at each other, heaping blame and scoring political points at the expense of the future generations. We are committed and we require the patient understanding of all the right-minded citizens of Sri Lanka in this endeavour. The political parties and the politicians alone cannot achieve this. We need all the citizens of this country to work towards reconciliation. We need all to join hands with understanding to walk hand in hand in this journey to transform our country into a united, progressive, peaceful and prosperous nation. The government of President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Wickremesinghe has the political will and the courage of their convictions to ensure that we take the country forward, breaking the barriers of ignorance, fear, prejudice and hate, and create a new Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Member, we have to be mindful of the time today. We have already exceeded the just one. It's not normally allowed, if you don't mind. Yeah, so we'll go to the next one. Yes. Committee stage, you can take it. Committee stage, you can ask that. Otherwise, we are.